one last question. So,
yeah, so what's the experience actually with this chlorophyll A? It's a physical parameter where it's actually like you're measuring the actual microgram per liter, but on the other hand, you're deriving absorption of chlorophyll from the sensor.
No, it's opposite. We are actually deriving absorption and relate this to chlorophyll.
Yeah. So then you have to sort of because you know that you probably have to take into account that the absorption of chlorophyll is relation with this absolute concentration is different for different lakes or different places, right? So how do we? What kind of turnover time do you need to actually make a good empirical relationship between these two at different places?
Yes, here is again the same question. So if you do this in situ, imagine you measure chlorophyll photometric.
Yeah.
You relate here chlorophyll concentration to absorption at a certain wavelength. You do not account that phytoplankton group A is different in specific absorption than from phytoplankton group B. It is the same like here.
So the question is that what kind of errors do you experience, and how do you actually tell it to the people, try to explain to the people, your clients, that wants absolute errors or absolute quantity?
Yeah, well, it is for me, but also for clients in the education process. We have to always, I think, to go one step back why we measure chlorophyll. So the interest was to estimate the eutrophication status or some environmental indicator for our lake or for our water. And this indicator was decided where chlorophyll is an important one. We have, of course, other indicators, so benthic coverage and so on. And chlorophyll is the response of phytoplankton to nutrients and so on. Is maybe what is, of course, essentially what is behind that, to a certain stage of the water. The chlorophyll, the phytoplankton natural variability is very high, as you know, in waters. So if you talk about, if the people want to talk about to reach a certain accuracy, maybe 5%. The question is, do they reach the accuracy with the measurement, the 5% in space and time? And they, of course, do not reach. So therefore, it is not the question if you reach 5%. The question is how we reach the economical status of this water in space and time, and which methodologies we have.
Thanks. It's interesting to know how you deal with many people from different nations.
Yeah, I like this kind of discussion because exactly this is to close the gap between these two worlds.
I think any more questions? Maybe one last. You could have the time with Thomas after the session. There's no problem. If you have time.
Yes, that's very welcome.
Yeah, if there's one more last question, if not, we will end the session. Okay, thank you, Thomas. May I invite Mr. Ong, Director of the Singapore American Institute, to present a token appreciation to Thomas.
Oh, so this is a book that we published for the anniversary. Oh, we documented the 10 years of environment and the books.
Thank you very much for this.
Taking your time to speak to us today. We come to the end of the session. We will be sending you an email with a URL to do a feedback short sharing. Just tell us what you think about the session. Okay. Today, thank you once again for coming to this session. We hope to see you again next time.